Hey guys, Courtney over here at Lost Puppy Ranch. I'm going to talk a little bit about my medical condition. So, 5 years ago in October, following an injury, I was diagnosed with complex regional pain syndrome, so CRPS. CRPS is basically a nerve condition. Nerves are sending constant signals to my head that ow, 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 something hurts, something's not right. That's also signals not being sent from my head to my legs or my head to my arms or whatever. My condition started in my left leg. Actually started following an ankle injury. Went from there. Within 3 months after the original injury, it spread from just my foot and my ankle all the way up my leg to my hip. Nobody knew what was going on. Doctors had no clue what was going on. I had no idea what was going on. Like, at that point in time, I trusted my doctors, right? First mistake right there. Yes, trust your doctors if you have no reason not to trust them. But always listen to you. Listen to your body. Like, if something isn't right, you're gonna know it's not right over everybody else. Nobody else is. Rusty! Can you stop? You don't have to be loud to play. Maddie, come up here. He'll leave you alone. Come up here. He'll leave you alone. Here's Maddie. Here's Maddie, girl. Oh, I forgot he can get on the bed now. Oh, no. I'm sorry, Maddie. Just lay down, please. Lay down. You're fine. You almost just pushed him off the bed. Anyway, did you guys just see that? He just came flying out of no... Stop! You crazy little fluff ball. Stop. Here, chew a bone. Look. Here's a bone. Here's one of your baby blankies. Here, Rusty, where'd you go? Here. Good boy. Good boy. You get that blankie. Ow, that was my hand. Get that blankie. Good boy. Oh, you're so handsome. Here. Oh, Maddie. Now you started it. Nope, now you gotta play with him. You started it. This is how life is, guys. Good days, bad days, it doesn't matter. They don't stop. Like, they want to play. They need attention. They want to go outside. They're hungry. They're thirsty. They want to go outside. I love them. Like, these guys were the reason, like, I got out of bed every day. Because I had to. Like, on my bad days, before I did the whole tiny house thing, I was in a pretty big house. 2-story house. Well, actually, it was 2 stories in a basement, so 2 sets of stairs, but only 1 set that I was going up and down daily. I would have to sit on my butt and, like, slide down the stairs or go, like, 1 stair at a time just to get these guys outside. And then I would stay downstairs the majority of the day until bedtime. But anyway, multiple doctors, until I finally found a doctor that knew what CRPS was. He looked at my x-rays before he even saw me, looked at my x-rays, had an idea, had a plan already lined up before he saw me in person. I saw him. He sent me immediately over to the surgeon. They were in the same building. He actually walked me over there. Met the surgeon. As soon as the surgeon walked in the door, he opened the door, said hi, stopped, looked down at my foot and my leg, and went, "You have CRPS." Excuse me? What? What do I have? Keep in mind, this is 5, almost 6 full months of different doctors, different surgeons, different hospitals, different clinics, different departments, being sent all over the place, and wearing a cast for 6 months. Hey, hey. You don't have to be so... Okay, that's fine. Go to a different room. Being in a cast for almost 5.5 months because they just didn't know what was wrong. So, fast forward, have my first surgery. They correct the original injury. I was in a cast for 2 months after that, 2.5 months, almost 3 months after that. Had to completely learn how to walk again. Zero movement in ankle, foot, all of that. Still, 5 years later, I only have about 40, maybe 45, like a 45-degree angle that I can move my foot, like up, down, side, whatever. That's not much, guys. So that makes walking really hard because when you walk, heel goes down, foot kind of rolls. Well, that movement right there, my foot doesn't do. That movement, my ankle doesn't do, my leg won't do. So it's really hard to walk. So I had to learn how to walk again. Balance was probably the hardest thing. Like having to get my balance back. My balance is not very good at all. Like I'll be standing and I'm fine, and then all of a sudden it's like somebody bumped into me and I lose my balance and almost fall over. That happens, but that's a daily thing. Like that's multiple times a day. I've learned to stand by something, walls, furniture, cabinets, counters, doors, whatever. Just be by something in case that happens, because then I can catch myself. I fall all the time. Cold weather is really bad for this condition. I live in Wisconsin. Why? I don't know. I was born here. Family's here. Am I gonna be here my whole life? That's debatable. I really don't know. But cold weather is awful for this condition. Absolutely horrible. If you have this condition, first, find a care team that knows what CRPS. Find a specialist in CRPS. That's not easy. That took me 2 years, 2.5, almost 3 years before I found my specialist. And he actually travels the whole world talking to other doctors, surgeons, teaching them about what CRPS is, different forms of treatments, different forms of surgeries, all that stuff, different medications that could help. But find that first, and then if you're able, go somewhere warm. Like, move somewhere warm, stay with family, whatever. Just get out of a cold climate, because it's horrible. Every fall, winter, once we get below 40 degrees, I start having issues. My skin starts changing color again from like the deep red, purple, gray, black. It's bad. As soon as I notice that start happening more, I know that I need to start focusing more on walking, paying attention where my feet are going, standing closer to something, holding on to something, because all of a sudden the signal just won't go from my head to my feet or my head to my legs, and I'm down. I fall. Or my legs feel normal as far as everyday pain, everyday nerve pain, everyday pins and needles, crushing, hot, cold, stabbing, burning, you name it, all of the above. That is my normal. So when I say normal, that's what I mean. But my legs will feel normal. I'll go to get out of bed, stand up from the couch, stand up from a chair, and there's nothing. Like I fall because my legs cannot and will not hold me up. Temporary paralysis is a thing with CRPS. That's more of like the advanced stages of CRPS. I'm not saying it won't happen in early stages, but for me, it didn't start happening until my condition spread to both legs. Since it spread to both legs, it has spread to both of my arms. It is in my left arm completely, and it's in about, I'd say a little more than half of my right arm. So, what that means, yes, I can move my arms, I can move my legs. It's painful. It's extremely painful. Like, even on the medications that I'm on, my pain on a good day is a 9. And I can take pain. I'm not a pansy, a wimp, whatever. Like, before this happened, I broke, it was like, God, I think it was 64, 65 bones in my body. I was an adrenaline junkie, guys. Like, snowboarding, snowmobiling, dirt biking, four-wheeling, skateboarding, if I didn't say that, rollerblading, anything on wheels and anything that I could do to go fast is what I would do. Apparently I wasn't very good at it. It's like, you can't just go straight. You gotta turn and do jumps and all that stuff. Well, I would take any of those breaks again if that meant having one day where I didn't have this amount of pain. Like, one day. It's not easy, guys. It's hard. It's rough. It's extremely rough. I'm not gonna lie. 5 years in, I'm still having surgery. I have had 36 procedures, surgeries to date. I have another one in December. I'm on my second permanent spinal cord stimulator, which people that don't know what that is, you're probably not watching this video, but to make it make sense to you guys, it's basically a TENS unit, but a lot stronger and directly to that nerve. And it shoots shock waves to that nerve constantly, and it's implanted. I have a big battery pack about this big in my back, and then I have the wires or the leads into my spinal column, and that goes right into the nerves. So I'm on my second one. First one, wires were pulling out. It was actually almost out of my spinal column. So it was kind of scary. I was getting shocked to the point where I would be outside, call one of my dogs, like yell one of their names. I would get shocked and I'm on the ground. Like, I remember the feel of the shock and then I'd be on the ground. Like, there was no in between me falling. I wasn't able to catch myself. It just, yeah, so that happened. What else? I mean, there's so much, and like, I mean, 5 years of dealing with this every day. Hospitals, clinics, surgeries, casts, braces, custom braces, back procedures, spine procedures, nerve ablations, injections. Besides the second spinal cord stimulator, I have a chest port right there. You can actually see it pretty good. I get treatments weekly. My dose has been increased quite a bit. I'm actually on one of the highest doses legally possible for the medication. And that's done weekly. And then, still on a good handful of medications multiple times a day. So the next surgery and the next step for me, because doctors are shying away from pain medications, hospitals, clinics, everything is shying away from pain medications. So I kind of got, the pain pump was always in my head. I'm not the type of person to take pills. I struggle to take pills. I still have a hard time swallowing pills. And I do it multiple times a day. But I still struggle. Like, shaking my head, tipping it upside down, whipping it back, shaking it again, like trying to get the pills to float. Basically the Macarena with just my head and my neck in order to swallow pills. It's crazy. But kind of lost where I was going there. I am having a pain pump implant done in December, and that is my overall goal besides getting closer to managing pain is I don't want the pain pills. I don't want all the other medications I'm on for this condition. Before this happened, I didn't take pills. I couldn't take pills. I couldn't swallow them. If I had a headache, I'd lay down, get my room as black as I possibly could, put a blanket over my head, a pillow over my head, whatever it took, and then just try to take a nap. So, and it's gotten to the point where the meds control my life. Like, it controls my everyday life. It's, if I leave my house and I'm going to be gone for more than 3 hours, I have to bring some kind of bag with me. I have to have all of my medications. I have to have some kind of sugar treat, like fruit snack or a fruit drink or a sugary drink. Because when I take my pills, my blood sugar drops, I get sick. So I gotta have that. I gotta have my charger for my spinal cord stimulator because the battery, like, I have it cranked up as, not as high as it'll go, but higher than I've ever had to have it cranked up. So the battery dies pretty quick. So I have to have my charger with me. I have to make sure the remote is charged. And, you know, like, I can't leave my house unless I have all of that stuff with me. And then in colder temperatures, I have to make sure I have my knee scooter because I might not be able to make it through a full store on, you know, walking, but I have to get stuff done. Then it gets to the point where it's really bad that I can't even make it from the parking lot to the store. So then I have my wheelchair, which I need help with because I can like push myself around, but then I can't get groceries because where am I going to put them? But like it has gotten to the point where it controls my life, and it has for 2 years now, 3 years now. But as time progresses, this condition only gets worse. There's no cure for it. It spreads throughout your body. And I mean, this is a lifelong condition. This is a lifelong thing that I have to go through because there's no cure. There's no surgery that's going to stop this. There's no medication that's just randomly going to fix me one day. Like, I wish that would be amazing. I mean, that would be really cool. But that's just not how it is. So I have, you know, I do tons of research. I cannot stress that enough. Like, look up your condition. Look up many articles about your condition and then compare article to article and like what you've read in the two and see what you take from that. See if your symptoms match any of the stuff you're reading. Don't self-diagnose yourself. Like, not only does that make doctors really mad, but it's just, if you go into a situation acting like you know more than anybody else, that's not going to get you very far. But go into a situation knowing what you're in for, knowing what could work for you, you know, and just be open-minded because there is no right answer. Everybody's different. This condition, none, like me and somebody else could have the same condition, but I've had it for 5 years. They've had it for a couple months. Our conditions are going to be a day and night difference. Like, theirs may have gotten caught right away, whereas mine didn't get caught, diagnosed until I was already 6 months in. If you are not diagnosed and starting some form of treatment within the first 3 months of this condition, the chance of you ever going into remission is extremely low. Not saying it can't be done, but it's extremely low. Unless you're willing to go through extremes of amputation, if that's an option for you, if your condition has not spread yet, and your condition's lower on, we'll just say lower on the scale, like newly diagnosed, whatever. Mine, because it was 6 months before I was diagnosed, I was past that point. Like, there was no, like, the chance of me going into remission was gone because it already spread up my leg into my other leg already. I just, now, and I mean from that day forward, the goal in mind and, like, treatment plan has always been slow the spread. We're not going to stop it. You can't stop it. Like, you can't stop it. If a car is rolling down a hill with no brakes, you're not going to jump in front of it and stop it. It's not going to happen. You were going to get steamrolled and probably drugged down that hill and then some. Like, that's kind of how I felt the first 6 months of this condition. Like, it's rough. Do not give up. Like, don't settle either. Like, do not settle if a doctor's like, I don't know what's wrong with you. It is your right to have tests done, to have blood work, to have x-rays, to have MRIs, all of that stuff. Like, you can ask your doctor for not so much medical proof, but you want this test done to, I don't know, set yourself at ease. Or, you know, like one of my situations, this was completely not CRPS related. I started having chest pains. And I noticed it just out of the blue one day. And I was like, oh, I might be dehydrated. So I was outside that day. It was hot. It was like 80 something degrees out. I was outside all day with the dogs. So I figured it was just that. Drank a bunch of water, ate some food, laid down. I still had the pain. Then it moved from like chest to lung area. Every breath hurt. Like, it felt weird. It felt like my lung couldn't expand all the way. Like, I wasn't getting a full breath of air in, and then I couldn't blow all that air back out. I didn't know what it was. So I went to Google, typed in symptoms, which a lot of people, I say don't do that. It's a really bad idea, because, like, if you're a very sensitive person, or you watch TV ads and all of a sudden it's like, if you have dry mouth, sweaty arms, can't sleep at night, you have. And if you're the type of person that freaks out and you're like, oh my God, I have that. If you're that person, do not do this. Do not Google anything. Do not doctor MD anything. Like, just don't do it. Go to your doctor if you seriously think something's wrong. But given my condition, given other situations I have been in, I've learned to look up symptoms. See if any of those symptoms are what I'm going through. Is this actually something I need to go to the doctor to? Is this something that I'll be fine in a day or two? Like, I don't need medication. This isn't any kind of emergency. Stay home, you're fine. So everything I looked up said one condition. And then every article I read said, do not wait. Seek medical attention immediately. I'm already on day like 4 at that point. So went to the emergency room. Go in. The nurse sees my medical bracelet. What's this? I briefly explain what CRPS is. Nurse is like, well, what are you being seen for? I'm like, well, I think I have this. Why do you think that? I'm like, well, I have every symptom. It's been getting worse as time goes on. It's in my lung. Whatever. Doctor comes in. Nurse is like, oh, she has CRPS. This is what she thinks she has today. Doctor looks at me. He's like, CRPS, huh? I'm like, yep. He leans up against the counter. Doesn't even come close. Doesn't check vitals. Doesn't anything. Leans up against the counter and goes, yeah, this is probably just, another symptom of CRPS. I'm like, it's not. Well, how do you know? Well, I know what that feels like. I know what the spread feels like. I know what the early onset of spread feels like. I know what the pain feels like. This is not it. He looks at me and goes, Well, we can do an x-ray to prove that you're medically sound. Excuse me? So, he, without even seeing me, anything. Well, I mean, he saw me. He was sitting, you know, leaning up against the counter. But without listening to my lungs, doing any kind of exam himself, it was CRPS. It's fine, go home. No, it's not. Well, what do you want done? I need some kind of test done because something is wrong. Well, we'll go ahead and do an x-ray if you want, or we'll do an x-ray to prove you're medically sound if you want. Yes, I do. X-ray comes up about 45 minutes later. Do an x-ray. Keep in mind, x-ray didn't even ask, do you have any medically implanted devices? I already knew my device at that time could be x-rayed. I wasn't worried about it. Do the x-ray. She came over, moved my gown in the back, moved it over, looked at my spine. You can clearly see the one incision right up my spine, the other incision this way. They're very big, very dark. You cannot miss them. She saw them, didn't ask me anything. You can see the implant. It sticks out probably that much from my skin. You can see the implant. Didn't ask me about it. Does the x-ray, goes out in the hall, looking at the x-ray. A couple minutes later, comes in and goes, do you have any medically implanted devices? No. Did you find something? The look on that lady's face was amazing. I'm like, yes, I have a spinal cord stimulator. Oh, thank God. Okay. Doctor comes in, completely different attitude. Completely different attitude. And he's like hanging his head and kind of like shuffling his feet funny. Brings the chair up, puts the chair right next to the bed, leans his arms on the rail, and goes, well, you were right. What was I right about? Because, like, we talked about a lot, and, like, forcing him to do this x-ray on me. So what am I right about? Well, look at that. I had the condition that I knew I had going into this whole emergency visit that he would have sent me home with no treatment that I could have got really sick from. Like, I mean, I left with antibiotics. I left with a steroid. Well, they gave me a steroid shot. I had to go back a week later for another steroid shot. Like, you were gonna send me home? Okay. Be prepared for that. It's going to happen. Like, it's happened a handful of times with me. Like, it's so easy for them to just, like, nah, that's what it is. Instead of doing tests. I don't get it. I probably never will get it. And I'm sure I'm going to deal with this the rest of my life. Like, until they write on my folder, like, in big letters, like, don't mess with this girl. She knows what she's talking about. But, guys, if you stuck through this video, stuck through my ADD, ADHD, I appreciate you. If you have CRPS, you have a family member with CRPS, a friend with CRPS, you just want to learn about it, comment down below. Subscribe so you don't lose my videos. My videos are everything and anything. You can see one of the videos down wherever the other videos are. But I will be talking about CRPS going forward and some of the treatments that may help, some of the surgeries that may help. But guys, don't give up. Like, you're in for the long haul. It's not easy. It's not going to be easy. It's a daily struggle. It really is. It's very hard. But you'll be okay. Your life is going to change. It's going to drastically change. But keep your head on. Journal. Write. Type. Whatever. Keep yourself busy. Keep your head busy. Hobbies. Come up with hobbies. Do whatever. Just keep yourself busy that you don't just sit around and like focus on what's going on with you, because that will take effect, and like that will eat at you. So don't do that. But stay strong, keep at it. Don't stop until you find the right care team that knows how to help you, and keep on keeping on. Thanks for watching, guys.